Welcome back to More Insight. This is insight you can trust because there is more where it came from. I'm your host, Chris Moore, and let's just go ahead and get into it. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow the channel, y'all. We're on the road to 2,000 subs. We are almost there. We are just up under 1,600. Just go ahead and share this with somebody and make sure they hit that subscribe button for us. Let's talk about your Atlanta Browns. Yeah. The Atlanta Browns. Kevin Stefanski, as you know, former Browns head coach, two-time coach of the year, hired by the Falcons. He is assembling his coaching staff, and I'm just putting myself in his shoes. He's looking around Flowery Branch. He's looking at his team. He's looking at his staff. He's looking at the locker room, looking at the weight room, looking at the city, looking at Ian Cunningham, and looking at Matt Ryan, and says, you know what? I need a little bit more of Cleveland with me. Yeah, that's what I need. Let me bring in Tommy Reese to run the offense. Let me bring in Bill Callahan to run the offensive line. Let me bring in Alex Van Pelt to help become a quarterback coach. And that sounds great. They actually made another hire since we're here for Tanner Eggstrand. He's coming in as the passing game coordinator. But besides that, if I didn't know any better, I would think the Falcons facility was looking like the dog pound in Cleveland. So that's why I say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Atlanta Browns. Might as well start installing a dog pound section into the Mercedes-Benz Dome, because with these staff members of the Cleveland Browns coming in to be a part of the Atlanta Falcons, I have questions. Here's where it gets serious, because this kind of move that Kevin Stefanski is doing is bold. And bold means one thing. We're going to find out real fast if you're really, really smart or if you're really, really dumb. That's the enemy of the state reference, if you didn't know. Because there's no more hiding. Was Cleveland really the problem? Or were you elevated by circumstance? Because Kevin Stefanski, he wants to get his Snoop Dogg on. He want to make sure he's saying he's out here like it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Well, guess what? Your homies going to have a lot of blame going around if they don't get the job done. Okay? If this offense cooks, you're a genius. If this team wins, you're a genius. If it crashes, if it looks bad, if there's no winning record, I mean, you brought the crash test dummies yourself. That's what makes this fascinating. Kevin Stefanski has 2 Coach of the Year trophies. Count them, 2. Two-time. But let's be honest, Cleveland has been chaos for years. 13 quarterbacks over the last few years. Tension in the front office, injuries, Deshaun Watson, ownership not knowing how to run an organization. So now the question becomes, were you in the building in spite of dysfunction, or were you protected by lowered expectations? Atlanta is different. Atlanta fans, they don't want you to just be competitive. No, we need direction here. We need some clarity. We need to know who's in charge. I talked about that in my last video. Who's the boss? And side note, again, I can't wait for that press conference for Ian Cunningham, because I need to know who's the boss. I need to know who's in charge. Now, I will give credit when credit is due. What I do like, all three of these coordinators that the Falcons have brought in have called plays before. So now you have play callers in the room. So granted, you don't have the same situation as you did last year. One of the quiet issues under the Raheem Morris regime, and I said this before, was experience calling plays consistently at the highest level. Now, Tommy Reese has called plays. Van Pelt has called plays. Engstrand has been an offensive coordinator. He worked up under Ben Johnson's influence when they were both in Detroit. Say what you want about the Jets, and not to mention he was the offensive coordinator for the Jets just last season. Now, you can say what you want about the Jets, but hey, maybe this is a situation where you've lost so much that you figure out what it takes to win. I don't know. But this isn't a room full of theory guys, you know? This isn't a room full of rookies and novices. Because the thing with Raheem Morris, Zach Robinson was calling plays, but they couldn't essentially get rid of him because nobody else on the team called plays before. So that was an error on Raheem Morris. He should have had an established play caller on the team, on the staff, just in case things go awry. And they definitely went awry. And going back to the new office of staff members, these are men who have actually stood on the sideline, had the headset on, seeing that clock ticking, been able to adjust to defenses and had to make quick decisions, because all of that matters. Because I love Madden, but play calling in the NFL is not like Madden. There's rhythm, it's feel, it's knowing when your quarterback's confidence is fragile, it's knowing when to take the shot. And I, for one, like that Atlanta isn't experimenting with interns. They brought in grown adults. Atlanta fans, this is risky. I know how y'all feel, but year one is going to tell us a lot about this football team. Not so much about the football team, but more so about the staff. It's going to tell us if Matt Ryan knew what he was doing. Year one, I mean, maybe you'll get some grace. But year two, you legit won't have excuses. You brought in your staff. You brought in your philosophy. You shaped this offense. And if it fails, you don't get to point north to Cleveland and say, well, you know, you play at Cleveland and you carry on. They say, hey, you got to go, bruh. In the press conference for Kevin Stefanski, they made the joke that, you know, welcome to Atlanta. Matt Ryan said, this is the players where the players play. Well, I tell you one thing, I'm born and raised in Atlanta. I remember Pastor Troy had a song called This the City. And he said, I come from the city. If you're lame, it's going to be ugly. If y'all don't win some games, it's going to be ugly. And here's the thing, because some coaches, they hide behind dysfunction. They don't know how to handle it. But Kevin Stefanski said, essentially, in so many words, I'm going to bring structure. And I, for one, can't wait to see what that structure looks like. A couple of the moves the Falcons made, they retained Nate Ollie. And if you saw that Falcons defense, Nate Ollie is a name that you have heard a lot on broadcasts. The defensive line coach for the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons did retain him after a lot of teams reached out, tried to pull him away from the Falcons. The defensive line development wasn't the sexy headline, but it was the one that won a lot of games. His work speaks for itself. The growth in the players, the energy, the accountability that he brings. If you go to the Falcons YouTube channel, definitely make sure you check out some Nate Ollie clips. I mean, the guy, he's all class, man. He's all world. He's not going to be the defensive line coach forever. I'll say that. I believe his future in this league is bright, because you could tell when some coaches coach versus just coordinate. And Ollie teaches. And that's going to be big when he becomes a coordinator. And if you become a coordinator, who knows? You can become a head coach. But to bring it around full circle, talking about our head coach, all jokes aside, this is either the smartest group of football minds that we've seen in years come together, or it's going to age real bad. I mean, but that's what makes this whole offseason compelling. So Falcons fans, are we getting Dylan Gabriel this year to help solve the quarterback problem? I mean, that's one of the only people that's missing from this whole Cleveland regime. Bring in Dylan Gabriel, you know, have him compete against Michael Penix, and, you know, let's see what happens. Falcons fans, do you feel confident? Do you feel this is very Cleveland-ish? Drop it in the comments. Let me know if you want some more conversation like this. Hey, like, subscribe, comment. The more you like, the more you subscribe, the more you comment, that helps the video gets pushed out. That helps other people tap into us. That helps us grow a community. If you want to support, go ahead and become a member. It's a little small donation. You're not going to miss it, but I promise you, this is more insight, and this is insight you can trust, because there is more where it came from. I'm going to lock in with y'all if y'all lock in with me. So I'll see y'all again.